Come on through, Cookie. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is the final piece of this 3-part mess. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 8, and this is part 3 of the reunion. I'm just gonna go ahead and run through because it really, I don't know. This whole reunion was kind of uneventful for real, but whatever. Nene's entrance was the first thing. Shout out ice skating outfit is a mess. It's a mess. It's just a mess. It's just too much shit going on. It's all this nude illusion and just beads and baubles covering up her boobs. And she's like, I came out here giving y'all body. And it just, I don't know. I ain't a fan of it. She got on cute shoes. And her hair is just a little questionable. It's a little flat. But that look, I can't get with that look. And especially sitting up with everybody else, and everybody else is looking nice, and here you come, you pull off this look like you're gonna go to the Olympics. I didn't care for it too much. But whatever. She came out and, it was like mixed looks of like, oh, here we go, all that kind of thing. Then we had the whole thing, they rehashed the Sheree versus Nene stuff. And they just basically talked about how they're in such a good place now and they're happy to be back friendly with each other. Okay. Then there was Nene versus the Kim Fields. Do you think Kim Fields should be here? No. She's real out there with it. I don't believe she fits in with this group of girls. I don't believe she should be here. And I'm like, wow, okay. Then it was Kenya versus Sheree. That whole thing. Whose house gonna be done first? Kenya's supposed to be in her house in a week. Kenya's supposed to be in Kenya's supposed to be in hers in a week. Sheree should be in hers in 4 weeks. No biggie. Then they were asking Kenya, was Matt actually moving in? I guess he is. I guess he is. Then we had Nene versus Nene on what she thought about Portia. And she started talking about how she, no, she ain't happy with everything that Portia's been doing, lately. And all that kind of thing. So I'm like, why is this this whole part of it, the half of the show was about what Nene thought about other people? Who cares? Who cares? Who really cares? I was like, okay, whatever, y'all. And then y'all wonder why she acts the way she acts. You dedicated a whole half hour to what she thought of the castmates. So why wouldn't she think that she was the head bitch in charge? Whatever. Portia was like, I don't think I did anything wrong. I feel like y'all throwing me under the bus, and I didn't know that you disapproved of, because I'm young and I'm trying to have fun and this, that, and the other. And she's like, girl, I told you, bitch, that you acted like a slut and fucking everybody wasn't cute. I was like, okay. Then they talked about the whole thing with Kim saying, Nene think her thoughts about Kim saying about the class factor being missing. Who cares? Kim Fields ain't coming back anyway, so nobody cares. Then they talked about Sheree and Bob, and they basically are just enjoying each other and trying to get back. They fucking is for lack of better words, they screwing. And they were saying how he's fun to look at and he's a silly person and all that. Then they brought the guys on. And it got real ugly real quick. And it was really about the whole thing with Chris and the rumors about the gay stuff and all that. So, of course, him and Kenya just immediately butt heads. Matt basically is standing Kenya's ground. And, he's real militant with it. He's just really all with that about it. And Andy, basically had to ask him to pipe down, And I kind of understood where he was going, because then again, how would he look standing there letting Chris and Kenya go back and forth? But kind of that's the show that we're in. That's what they do. Um, that whole thing played out differently than what they thought it was going to play out, and it was interesting to watch. Andy finally called out the cast on their gay shit. He literally called them right out, and you could hear a fucking pin drop. They were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then it ended up being. It got to a point where it was like they were basically laughing about what had went on, and the fact that I said, "Oh, ain't no big deal. Every man on here been accused of being gay. This, that, thing, the other." And Andy said, "No. The public didn't do that. You ladies have done that. Whenever y'all ready to insult somebody, you all throw them under the gay bus. And it ain't a good look." And honey, everybody got quiet. I said, "Did y'all just get chastised right on TV?" "Yes, you did. Yes, you did, by your boss." And they all got quiet. Because Andy, I don't know, whatever got up in Andy, he was sober today and he was not feeling that bullshit. And he didn't like it. And he spoke on it and you could hear a fucking pin drop. I was like, okay, so that's the end of that. Because they really did. They had made light of it and just was kiki and cackling. It was all funny and all good. So he let their asses have it. I said, oh my. I said, okay. And Portia, I was like so done with her. Portia literally turned around and said, "It was all Kenya. Kenya's the one that did everything." I was like, is she serious? Actually, if you really paid attention to the tapes, Portia did more talking about Chris than anybody else. She's the one that had all the insults. The one that was a beard. The one that did have a gay husband. Girl, shut up. Anyway, a mess. Trying to think. Then there was that exchange between Todd, Candy, and Phaedra. It was a good thing they actually showed that it really wasn't Phaedra that called the feds to come out to their houses. It actually was Candy and Andy having a conversation that actually had the feds come out. I was kind of glad that they did that because Phaedra was being thrown under the bus, and I'm one of the ones that thought maybe she had did it too. I thought she had did it. I'm like, hey, all's fair in love and war. But she didn't actually call the feds. The feds actually listened to things that were actually said on Watch What Happens Live in a conversation with Candy and Andy. And that's why they went to Cynthia's house. That's why they went to Candy's house. I said, ain't that a bitch? Now, y'all owe Phaedra an apology, But they quickly got off of that. And when I tell you, Todd literally fucking gathered Phaedra. He gathered Phaedra. He just told her ass right the fuck on off and then went so deep as to say, you're trying to tell me about you always know what's going on with me, but Apollo was living up in your house and you didn't know nothing? Really, bitch? I was like, whoa. And again, you could hear a pin drop. And Phaedra was sitting over on that couch looking quite foolish. Quite foolish. I was like, I knew when Todd got cut loose, it was going to be a mess. And he did. The whole thing, Todd literally shut Phaedra's ass down. I said, oh. She didn't want to fuck with Todd no more. She left that shit alone. But it was over because the books had been read and the library was totally closed up with the padlocks and stuff on the door. So then, they go around the room and they saying, they're ending everything. And I'm like, okay, good. This shit's finally over. And then Andy is like, well, Phaedra, you come on and give us some words, to end the show on. And she went through some rigmarole. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, Phaedra? None of that shit don't even make any sense. It was like a thing where he was like, basically, come on, Phaedra, and give us a line of bullshit to go home on. I was like, cornball, get on out of here. And y'all go on and start filming and get ready for next season because I'm done with this season. Done with it. But the best thing that happened here, the most interesting thing, was Andy shutting them down with their faggoty bullshit that they do all the time and they've gotten so comfortable doing. And Todd gathering Phaedra and throwing her receipts in her lap. I said, oh, that was terrible. That was, ooh. Anyway, so that's it. Season's over. Done. No more Kim Fields with her husband. We'll go back to the whole other shit. Oh, last thing. Portia is just as good as fired, as far as I'm concerned. When they talked about Portia and how they literally, everybody basically turned on her, how they ain't comfortable being around her because she's like, they feel like she's volatile. And what I was watching in my eyes, I was like, oh, girl, you're just as good as fired. Just as good as fired. I was like, wow. They talked about her fight with Kenya, her fight with Cynthia, and then she had a fight at the Christmas party and jumped on her assistant and beat her fucking ass. So they really basically, I don't think we're going to see Portia no more, child. If we do, it'll just be a little guest star here and there, but ain't going to be no peaches, apples, or oranges, or nothing else in old Portia. And that's fine, because I don't like her all like that anyway, so fuck her. Anyway, that's it. It's done. And I will see you guys with this shit next season or whatever. All right. Bye, y'all.